Hey there. So I am actually working over on the Oregon coast today, and I have had so much stuff going through my mind, so I decided, hey, I'm going to turn my GoPro on and share some of my Daleisms with you, or some of my thoughts anyways. First though, I want to take a second to say thank you. I have had an overwhelming response to one of my past videos where I talked about being a perfectionist, talked a little bit about the situation with my mom. I was not expected. I got phone calls, texts, messages. It was so encouraging, actually, even to hear other people that have gone through or are going through some of the things that I've experienced, and I just really made me realize that I'm not alone out there, and that is amazing. One thing that was brought to my attention is just over a week ago. I was with family, and I just love gaining wisdom from other people that are way smarter than me. I think it's so important to surround yourself with people like that. And I was talking about my YouTube channel, and because of the fact that I am a perfectionist, and I am, although far from perfect, and the limitations that just that mentality gives me and I'm trying to overcome, he says people will watch your YouTube channel for you, for who you are, and that don't put so much energy and effort in just trying to make it look cinematic or make it look all, overly done, I guess would be the word. And that really, those words really set in, because again, as a perfectionist, it really prevents me from doing a lot of things because I can't get it just the way I want it. So along the lines of getting to know me, who is Dale? Or who am I? Yeah, who am I? Who is Dale? That'll work. I do feel that I suffer somewhat from OCD. Although I dislike the actual name of that, obsessive compulsive disorder. I mean, the disorder part sounds really negative. Well, it is, because a disorder isn't, it means things are out of order, I suppose. But I do feel that in an effort for people to really know who I am, I think you need to know that. And it's not something I've gone to the doctor or some therapist and they said, hey, you have OCD. I guess I would say I'm self-proclaimed, not necessarily in a good way, but I think it's important to understand when we have things in our life that may get in the way of living what people may call a normal life, that it's important we recognize that. And it's only when we recognize those things that we could ever change them. So I work on it daily. I'm going to give you a couple examples, and I want to give you an example from my childhood. When I was young, the property I live back on the property now that I grew up on, and my parents' home had a fenced yard because we lived on a busy highway, and we lived down a long lane, and we have always had animals like a dog in the front yard, and Dobermans was really what we started with. We had 3 different Dobermans, I think, when I was growing up. Well, our school bus came at the end of our road every morning during the school year, and I would walk out that gate and go down to the school bus. Well, unfortunately, one day I left the gate open and my dog got out, and the dog got out and got hit by a car, and so we lost our dog. And so that dog meant the world. I mean, as a child, it meant the world to me and even my parents. It was a close dog, and ever since that time, when I would go down to the bus, I would go out that same gate and I would push the latch down and make sure that it was latched and start walking down to the bus. And I would get halfway down the driveway and I would run back and I would continue to press down on that. Even though I could visually see that that gate was closed, I would press on it and make sure that it stayed down, and then I would start walking away and I would turn around and look at it again, and I'd come back and I'd touch it again, making sure that it was still closed. And I did that morning after morning after morning, and there were even times when the bus was coming that I was halfway down the lane that I would run back down real quick and just to double check it, even though I know I closed it, and then I would run down and hurry up onto the bus. So I'm not saying that's why I do what I do today, but I do believe, maybe thinking back, that maybe there's something there. I don't know. But now, I don't think I'm the only one that does this. It's a similar to people that, let's see if you guys do this ever. Have you ever had an alarm that you set at home and you checked it over and over to make sure and double check that you set the alarm? Okay, now I do that today even. I set my alarm and then I'll look at it and I'll set it again. Mind you, it's on my phone, but regardless, I'm setting that and I'm double checking to make sure that it's set, even though I don't actually even wake up to my alarm. And this might even be worse, because part of the reason I don't wake up to my alarm is because I'm afraid I'm not going to wake up to my alarm. So what I do is I end up waking up somehow before my alarm goes off, and then I'm constantly checking the clock about every 15 minutes or so. And then it's almost a game to me to be able to get up and actually turn off my alarm before it even goes off. Pretty messed up, isn't it? Well, the fact of the matter is I recognize that. I work on changing that. But it goes down to as far as even pulling things from a grocery store or some item that I'm purchasing. I will take the second or third item back. I never really try to take the front item. Drives people crazy. I even was with a friend the other day, and I was buying Gorilla Glue, for that matter. And I picked up the glue to make sure it was the one that I wanted. I put it back down, and then I grabbed the one behind it, and I walked away. And the gentleman I was with said, "Oh, you want the newer one?" Because, oftentimes they put the older ones up front. And I was like, well, that's part of it, but a lot of it is I just like to take what's behind it in case the front one's broken or something's defective with it. It's ridiculous, I know, but the weirdest part of this is I try to overcome this to the extent that when I'm like at Costco and I have picked up a large box before and moved it just so I can get the one behind it. And we're talking furniture even. I will, Costco has their furniture in boxes a lot of times. I'll move the front one and I'll grab the one in the back, even though it takes a lot of effort. And so in my effort to fix that, sometimes I will go, okay, I just make myself grab the front one and then I take it. Inevitably, I get home and the thing's broken. No joke. I have done that a handful of times. And so I tend to think, well, is it in my head or isn't it in my head? And so that's the hamster wheel I get on. All of that to say that depending on the person, there are a lot more addicts out there than we know of, and a lot more addicts out there than what will actually profess to be an addict. But it's these kind of tendencies that will lead people to medicate, that will lead people to, I don't care whether it's drinking, whether it's eating, whether what it is, drugs. It's our mind, as amazing as it is, it can drive you crazy. And for me, it used to be there were only certain ways that I could turn my brain off, that I could stop thinking about, did I lock the door? I'm tired of getting up and checking it 3 times, knowing that I locked it, but something in me just said, I just need to double check it, I need to double check it. And so the way I could turn that off was by medicating. And it's dangerous. It's something that is not healthy. But when you become aware of those things that you do in your life, and that they might actually begin to interfere with your daily activities, it's then that you can actually just make the decision to change them. The key to that is you actually have to make the decision to want to change, though, and you have to recognize it, and you have to do that self-evaluation. And it's basically taking that inventory of your own life and making a change for the better. If you like this channel or you like what you're hearing, please subscribe. That will help me out a lot. Like the videos, comment if you would like. If you hit the little bell, it will notify you when I post new videos. I'm learning how this all works, but I'm having a lot of fun with it. So there you have it. Dale Arney the perfectionist and Dale Arney with OCD. You combine those two and you get quite the combination. Many of you might look at this and think, man, that guy is crazy. But you know what? Now, as you watch some of these videos and you see some of the things I do, you'll probably be able to point them out. And you know what? Feel free to leave it in the comments and say, Dale, hey, did you recognize that you just repeated that over and over and over and over again? I'll gladly take that.